Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United and that. I am going to be talking with you guys about, David Brooks. Also going to be talking with you a bit more about Callum Wilson. I updated you about Callum Wilson a very long time ago, and also going to be talking with you a bit about Joshua King, because according to recent reports, Bournemouth are looking to sell David Brooks, Callum Wilson and Joshua King. So reportedly, Manchester United we have reignited our interest in David Brooks. I think also too Tottenham have been long admirers of the player. Now, of course, David Brooks in his debut season with Bournemouth, I think he scored around 7 goals and provided around 5 assists in 30 games in the Premier League. I think he's played around 33 games for Bournemouth in all competitions as David Brooks. By the way, he hasn't played this year due to an ankle injury he's had. I don't actually know when he's expected back, when he's expected back playing again, David Brooks. He is only at the age of 22. I think this is actually, his second, full season now with Bournemouth. He has got a contract with Bournemouth until 2022 as the player. Bournemouth did pay around 11.5 million for him from Sheffield United back in 2018. He also, had a loan spell with Halifax, and actually, began his youth career with Manchester City. He was in Manchester City's youth academy for around 10 years, was the player. Now, could I estimate how much it would cost Manchester United? Probably cost maybe in the 30 odd or 40 odd million pound range. But probably, Manchester United won't get him on the board anywhere. But we're obviously, in search for a midfielder. Yes, we are in that. So that's the latest news on David Brooks. Now I'm going to give you the news on Joshua King. Now, revert back to the January transfer window. Manchester United inquired about the availability of Joshua King. We actually went in for him on deadline day or day before deadline day? I do believe that we'd put around the £25 million bidding for Joshua King. Now, obviously, Joshua King is a former Manchester United player, because obviously, he began his senior career with the football club. I don't think he made one first team appearance, if I'm right. Obviously, we actually got him from Valerenga. And when he left Manchester United, Joshua King, he was loaned out at quite a lot of clubs. He had a loan spell with Preston, Borussia Mönchengladbach, if I might have pronounced their name wrong. He also had a loan spell with Hull and Blackburn. Did the player. And obviously, now he is at Bournemouth, is Joshua King. And I think he's made around, 154 appearances and scored 46 goals in the Premier League. I think his contract does expire in the summer of 2021. And Joshua King is 28 years of age. So we did go in for him in the January transfer window. So again, Joshua King, he'd probably maybe cost in the 30 odd or 40 odd million pound range to convince Bournemouth to offload him. And also to Callum Wilson. Man United have inquired about his availability in the past. Callum Wilson is a very, very good player. I think Callum Wilson in the Premier League, he's made, around 164 appearances and scored 61 goals in the Premier League. Callum Wilson actually began his career with Coventry. He was up the youth academy with Coventry. Then obviously had a couple of loan spells with Kettering and Tamworth. And now obviously he's at Bournemouth. And I think he's been at Bournemouth quite a few years now as Callum Wilson. I estimated again, Callum Wilson would maybe cost in the 40 odd or 50 odd million pound range. But yeah, so Bournemouth are looking to, sell that trio. And they would generate quite a bit of money, if they did, sell them players. I think they could maybe get at least £100 million for them, maybe just a bit more. But yeah, so Bournemouth, probably, do want to generate some funds. Bournemouth, have been in the Premier League now, is it around 5 years? They came to the Premier League in 2015. And obviously now I think the highest they've finished in the Premier League was 9th, so that's the highest they've finished in history. I think back in 2017, Joshua King was actually their top goal scorer. There's also been rumours emerging out as well, saying that Ryan Fraser could be sold. I think Arsenal are keen on him. Eddie Howe, of course, is still at Bournemouth. He's spent the vast majority of his managerial career with Bournemouth. I think he did actually have a short spell with Burnley. He spent the vast majority of his playing career with Bournemouth. I think he did have a spell with Portsmouth and Swindon. So would you take one of that trio at Manchester United in the summer transfer window? And obviously, Callum Wilson and Joshua King are obviously, 6 years older than David Brooks, so they are more experienced than they're both forwards. And Manchester United are in search for a centre forward, so let's just put that into the equation. Now, I want to talk with you guys a bit more about Jesse Lingard. I have been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Jesse Lingard recently, haven't I? So Jesse Lingard has come out and actually said that he does want to remain at Manchester United, so he's willing to turn down a move to Arsenal because he wants to fight for his place in the team, even though Jesse Lingard has now lost his place in the team, especially since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes. But Solskjaer's lost the confidence in Jesse Lingard. Now, like reports were emerging out from The Athletic, they were saying that Arsenal could try and sign Jesse Lingard. Because I'm very, very sceptical that Arsenal will get Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. Obviously, it will cost Arsenal around £40 million to get Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer, but I think Arsenal have got insufficient funds. They have got Dani Ceballos on loan, but they actually are seeing Jesse Lingard as an alternative to Dani Ceballos. Now, I think Roma and also to Atletico Madrid have expressed their interest in, Jesse Lingard. But Jesse Lingard's been very, very inconsistent, because Lingard has not registered one goal or one single assist in over a year in the Premier League. And don't forget, Jesse Lingard has got a history with Arsenal. He's got a history with Arsenal. Don't forget he did the Milky Rock celebration. He also he was moonwalking at the Emirates, don't forget. And he actually, tends to play well against the big teams, just Jesse Lingard, to be quite honest with you. But reflect on the number of years he's been here and reflect on his status at the club, he should be putting much more better performances out. Jesse Lingard just got over the year left on his contract. We do value Jesse Lingard at around £30 million. And yeah. But, he risen up our youth academy in that, and, he's been here for several years, like I mentioned, but, we loaned him out at quite a few clubs. He had a loan spell with Leicester, Birmingham, Brighton and Derby. But I expect, Jesse Lingard, to leave Manchester United in the summer. But, I have been very, very disappointed with him. But like I mentioned, Man United and Arsenal have done business in the past. We have done business in the past, Don't forget, Arsenal got Danny Welbeck from us, was it around 4 or 5 years ago? Also, too, we got Alexis Sanchez from them back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. We also, too, got Robin Van Persie from them back in 2012. Robin Van Persie enjoyed a sublime season with the club. You can say reflects on the amount of goals he scored. He won as a league, Van Persie, in Alex Ferguson's last season. So if Lingard leaves, will he continue to ply his trade in the Premier League, or will he go to Atletico Madrid, or will he go to Roma? But reportedly, he does want to remain at Manchester United. So that is the latest news on that. By the way, I just want to give you the news, and I think a lot of people would have updated you today that Pep Guardiola's mum, Pep Guardiola, Manchester City manager's mum, has passed away, due to the coronavirus. She contracted the coronavirus, and like I said, it's killing tens and thousands of people across the world, and this is a very, very serious disease. Now, there's obviously a lot of people, that are saying that the season, should be voided and the season shouldn't resume. But I actually, do believe that the season will resume because it actually, has been extended indefinitely. Now, like I said, obviously, a lot, footballing managers have obviously, got tested positive for it. Quite a few football players have had it. You know, quite a few football players have had it. You know, Boris Johnson, of course. You know, the Prime Minister. You know, he got tested positive for it the other week. Now he obviously, you know, he got admitted to hospital. So this is a very, very serious disease, and everybody, you know, does want football back, and they want all sporting events back, etc., etc. But public health, you know, is more of a priority than football. So let's just put that into the equation. Now, like I updated you a couple of days ago, you know, like I said to you, you know, the Premier League had a meeting, you know, to establish plans for the remainder of the season. They had a meeting to establish plans for the remainder of the season. And, you know, they basically, you know, said that the season will resume when it is safe and appropriate to do so. When it's safe and appropriate to do so. So they haven't given an exact date or month, you know, when it's going to resume. It's just when it is going to be safe to do so. Obviously, you know, when the season does resume anyway, it will be played behind closed doors. And, you know, this is what's being confirmed. But obviously, you know, the Premier League do face a financial penalty of £762 million if the season doesn't resume. This is what it actually said. And also, two top flight clubs in the Premier League could lose up to 1.137 billion, you know, due to the coronavirus suspension. And obviously, you know, there has been talks of players' wages getting cut by around 30%. And I do believe, you know, this will happen and that. Obviously, you know, you've got certain, you know, players that are unhappy with it and that, you know, where Rooney come out and give his verdict on it. And, you know, he said he doesn't mind, but, you know, he just doesn't agree with the government, you know, just going into their, you know, reducing their wages, you know, without their permission. And this is what, you know, Wayne Rooney was getting at. But yeah, but you know, our squad, you know, have donated 30%. We've donated 30%. Our squad have donated 30% of their wages, you know, to the NHS, and it was actually, you know, Harry Maguire that instructed, you know, the entirety of our squad to donate 30% of our wages. I also do believe as well that the Premier League are gonna or have paid 20 million to the NHS, and they've also given advance payments of 125 million to the EFL and the National League. But you know, how would it implicate the leagues if the season wasn't to resume and that, you know, how would it implicate the league? You know, if the season wasn't to resume, you know, would Liverpool be denied the title? Because that's what I'm hearing. You know, if the season wasn't to resume, Liverpool would be denied the Premier League title. And as it stands at the moment, Liverpool only need 2 wins, you know, to clinch their first ever Premier League title and to end their 30-year drought. You know, they're sitting 25 points clear at the moment, are Liverpool. You know, teams who are in the relegation zone, you know, wouldn't get relegated. They'd get another season in the Premier League and, you know, etc., etc. You know, there was reports coming out a while back, you know, saying that there could be 22 teams in the Premier League next season. You know, 5 teams relegated and EFL or FA Cup games will be scrapped to increase Premier League fixtures. So if the season wasn't to resume, I think, you know, it would change a lot of the context of the leagues, if you know, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But I think, you know, the season will resume anywhere because it has been extended indefinitely. But I think, you know, next season does start on the 8th of August. But there's been different narratives coming out about it, hasn't there? There's been different narratives coming out, and, you know, it said the other week that the season was going to resume in May and finish on like the 12th of July to avoid TV contract rebates of £762 million. And one media outlet said, you know, the season was going to resume in July and it was going to be completed within a period of 4 to 6 weeks. So there was going to play like 2 or 3 games a week, you know, etc., etc. But we don't know when the season is going to resume. It's just going to resume when it is safe to do so. And hopefully, you know, this coronavirus will be gone within maybe the next couple of months, maybe the next 2 to 3 months or something like that. You know, I'm hopeful, you know, that it's gone by June or July. I think, and if, you know, the season wasn't to resume, you know, would we get qualification for the Champions League? So that's another thing, because, you know, we're sitting 5th at the moment. But, you know, with this coronavirus, you know, like I said, you know, teams are going to lose millions in transfer revenues. What's also going to happen, you know, with players' contracts that are due to expire in the summer. I do believe, you know, maybe certain players could go on the cheap, you know, when they're worth a lot more than that, you know, etc., etc. And a lot of teams are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus. So It's very, very bad. It is very, very bad, to be quite honest with you. But so yeah, so that's the latest news on that. So I just wanted to say that, you know, Pep Guardiola's mother's passed away after contracting coronavirus, and she was the age of 82. So yeah, very, very sad news in that, you know, but there's a lot more important things than football and that. No doubt, you know, if Liverpool were to get denied the title, you know, a lot of Liverpool fans would be infuriated. From my perspective, I'd be very, very delighted because I'm a Manchester United fan, but you know, if it had been my club, Man United, you know, 25 points clear at the top and we got denied the title, you know, because of a, you know, pandemic that's going around, then, you know, I would be very, very infuriated, to be fair. But I think Liverpool would still get the title whether the season resumes or whether the season doesn't. Because even if the season doesn't resume, then what they should do is, you know, finish the season on the current standings as how it stands now. You know, to be quite honest with you, but you know, I wish all the best, you know, for for the Guardiola family and that, you know, I really, really do. It's sad, you know, to hear that Guardiola's mother has passed away. But you know, a lot of countries are in lockdown now with this. You know, a hell of a lot of countries are in lockdown with it. I think there's very seldom. I think there's a. I can't think of any countries, you know, that haven't got it. There may be the odd couple, you know, that haven't got it. I think Africa haven't got it, but most countries have. But yeah, we are in lockdown for another week, I think, and then Boris Johnson's going to assess it more. We could end up, you know, in full lockdown, to be quite honest with you. But obviously, you know, people have not been, you know, listening to Boris Johnson's advice, you know. So yeah, it could actually, you know, go in full lockdown. And obviously, when the season does eventually resume, you know, obviously, you know, all these games that have been postponed, obviously, you know, do need to be, you know, rescheduled and that. But the Premier League has been suspended now for almost a month. It's been suspended since the 9th of March, but it's suspended until April the 30th, the earliest. So I just wanted to give you that news on that. And like I updated you on my previous video, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer budget has been revealed. He's going to get around £150 million to spend this summer, is Solskjaer, on, you know, bringing more players in. But obviously, you know, it'll mount up to more than £150 million because, you know, we sell Paul Pogba in the summer, we'd probably get at least 100 million, so that'd put it up to 250 million. You know, Sol Lingard, you know, we get 30 million for him. We get 30 million for him. You know, we generate some money if, you know, we get rid of Phil Jones in the summer. So there you go. You know, I think Solskjaer will have over £200 million to spend in the summer transfer window, but we have got a lot of players on our agenda. So far, Solskjaer has spent around £220 million at Manchester United in 3 transfer windows, and he's recommended 5 players in. Didn't get anybody in his first transfer window, but in the 2 previous windows, Solskjaer has recruited 5 players into the football club, and he's also got rid of a lot of the deadwooders, Solskjaer, since he got recommended in, because around 9 players have left. We saw Ashley Young leave this year after he endured 8.5 years at Manchester United. Obviously, you know, he went to Inter Milan. You know, we saw Rojo, he went to Estudiantes on loan, so 2 left this year. We saw Chris Smalling leave last summer. He went to Roma after he endured 9 years at Manchester United. I'm very sceptical that I'll be coming back to Manchester United. Chris Smalling. We also saw Matteo Darmian go last summer. We let Darmian go for next to nothing. Last summer we saw Herrera go after he endured 5 years at Man United. He went to PSG on a free. We saw Marion Fellaini go to China after he endured 6 years at Manchester United. You know, he went in January 2019, did Fellaini. We also saw Romelu Lukaku go to Inter Milan last summer. We got £70 million for him, and we also saw Sanchez go out on loan to Inter Milan last summer, and Dean Henderson is out on loan. So a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, but it's good that Solskjaer's making plans for the summer because he's looking to address the deficiencies in the squad. He's identified the areas where he thinks Man United need to strengthen up. You know, he's looking to bring a centre forward in. He's also looking to bring a right winger in. And he's also looking to bring a central midfielder. And I think he's also looking to bring a centre-half in. Even though, you know, we have got a lot of centre-halves in the team. You've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. You've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backups. You know, Jones, like I said, he's one of the players that's expected to leave. Smalling probably won't be coming back. But yeah, so we've had a few centre-halves on our agenda. But Solskjaer believes that Man United need around 3 or 4 signings in the summer to become title contenders. You know, this is what we do need, and we've got to get the right calibre players in, because if Man United don't get Champions League football for, you know, next season, then we could find it hard, you know, to recruit the right calibre players in, you know. And I'm very, very convinced that Manchester United can get qualification for the Champions League, and I think the only way Solskjaer could be sacked as Man United manager, and that's if, you know, we fail to get qualification for the Champions League. But, you know, the signings I expect Manchester United to make in the summer, I can definitely assure that Jadon Sancho's on his way to Manchester United in the summer, because don't forget, according to the Spanish press, they've come out and said today that, you know, we've convinced Jadon Sancho to come to Man United this summer, but no announcement has been made as yet. Obviously, you know, that in a way that's reiterating what he said last week from the Irish Independent, because the Irish Independent said that it's unofficially confirmed that Jadon Sancho will complete a transfer to Manchester United in the summer. Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation, because Dortmund have come out and said that they want around at least 100 million, but Man United could end up paying around 120 million pounds for Jadon Sancho, but either figure is going to make him our most expensive signing. But yeah, you know, they do remain ruthless over their valuation, the Borussia Dortmund. Even with this coronavirus outbreak, they're not willing to let him go on the cheap. But I think we're willing to meet what Borussia Dortmund are demanding for the player. But Borussia Dortmund have confirmed they will not step in Jadon Sancho's way if he wants to leave. Now, Borussia Dortmund have come to accept the fact that Sancho wants to leave, so now they're going to go into the market and try and find an adequate replacement for him. I think Dortmund are emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. But yeah, so as you all know, Man United are also willing to offer Jadon Sancho around £400,000 a week, so that will make him the best paid player at the football club. And we're also willing to offer Jadon Sancho the iconic number 7. And like I said, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, and Sancho would operate very, very well in the number 7, and he'd operate very, very well in number 7. And I think the beneficial thing about recommending him in is that, you know, he's got a fantastic friendship with Marcus Rashford. And, you know, Rashford did make an admission saying, you know, he wants, you know, Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season. But we've been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for around 2 months now. We've been in contact with his agent. And this was stemming from Fabrizio Romano the other week. And he tends to be a very reliable Italian journalist. You know, there's Fabrizio Romano. But a few clubs have expressed their interest in Sancho. But I think he's revealed his preferences and moved to Manchester United. Sancho's now into his 3rd season with Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, I think since his arrival in Germany, he has been a revelation. Dortmund got him from next to nothing. They only paid around £7 or £8 million for him from Man City. He did enjoy a couple of years with Man City, but the main explanation why he left City is because he didn't get enough first team opportunities. So he's played in the Premier League before, and he's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022 as Jadon Sancho. But we can get him in the summer. He'll be playing alongside Rashford and Martial, and I think that will be one of the club's best attacking trios. The last time we had I think the best attacking trio I remember us having was, you know, Ronaldo, Rooney and Tevez back in 2008 and 2009, you know, of course, and that. But yeah, I think, you know, they complement each other really, really well. And Jadon Sancho, you know, loves Rashford. He's an admirer of Martial. He also spoken about Mason Greenwood the other week. So I do believe he's actually going to be our first signing in the summer and our 6th signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So yeah, I do believe that we're going to get Jadon Sancho on the board. You know, obviously you can say maybe £120 million is a lot of money, especially, you know, for a player that's only the age of 20. But Man United are known for, you know, spending big on players anywhere, especially in recent years. You know, we've paid £89 million for Pogba, we paid £50 million for Fred, we paid £40 million for Matic, we paid £80 million for Harry Maguire, £68 million for Bruno Fernandes. So we are definitely, known for overpaying for players. But, we've got to meet, Borussia Dortmund's valuation to convince them to offload him, definitely in that. But, it's reflect on his good run performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund. This is why his valuation has persistently grown. So, yeah, Sancho to Man United in the summer looks very, very likely. I think Grealish to Man United in the summer looks very, very likely as well. We've been relentlessly linked, with Jack Grealish. Obviously, last week, like he updated you, there was reports emerging out of the mainstream media saying, that actually Manchester United could miss out on Jack Grealish. The main explanation is following the incident with his car. His Range Rover car, I think it's worth around £8,000. Don't forget, he crashed it into 3 parts cars, was it, in the West Midlands? And Jack Grealish, was obviously, embarrassed about this incident, and he was fined around £150,000. And he came out and made a public apology, for what he'd done, Jack Grealish. But, reflect on that incident, he said, Man United may not get him now in the summer. But I still believe, we can get a deal over the line for Jack Grealish in the summer. I'll reiterate what I mentioned on my 2 previous videos, because obviously, this was stemming from Andy Gray, who was a former Villa player, and Andy Gray came out and he basically gave his verdict on it. And he says, Manchester United must sign Jack Grealish in the summer, and they must, sell Paul Pogba. So we'll be basically, planning to sell Paul Pogba, get around £100 million for him, and then, put that money on Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is expected to cost us in the 70 odd or 80 odd million pound range. But Andy Gray did say at that figure he would represent a bargain at Manchester United. And Andy Gray said it's a no-brainer move, reflecting on the circumstances with Paul Pogba, because we're in the market for an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But, Grealish, wants to leave Villa to rejuvenate his career, because probably does believe now he's far too good for Aston Villa. He spent the vast majority of his career with Aston Villa. I think he did have a loan spell with Notts County, though, did the player as well. So let's just put that into the equation. He's got around 3 years left on his contract as Jack Grealish. He's under contract with Villa till 2023, But yeah, he's predominantly an attacking mid, but can occasionally play as a winner. And I think, he'd go well alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. So say we get Grealish and Sancho in the summer, that will cost us around nearly £200 million there for 2 players. 120 for Sancho and around 70 or £80 million for Jack Grealish. If Villa were to get relegated, he probably, you could get him on the cheap. Maybe, he could be available for maybe 30, 40, maybe £50 million at the top. But yeah, I think it's likely, we can definitely sign Jack Grealish. James Maddison, he's been another player on our agenda. I think, we've actually, been seeing James Maddison as an alternative to Jack Grealish, to be quite honest with you. So in case we miss out on Jack Grealish, we're going to, try and get, James Maddison. James Maddison had probably cost us maybe in the 60 odd or 70 odd million pound range. I don't think Leicester have got any intentions of selling him, to be quite honest with you. I think he'll end up signing a new contract with Leicester, but definitely more chance of us getting Grealish than there is of James Maddison. But yeah, I think they're the players that Manchester United are likely, to sign in the summer. De Ligt to Manchester United as well is a possibility. There's been talks, De Ligt coming to Man United as part of a swap deal of probably going back to Juventus. Ramsey, there's a possibility, but it isn't likely. There was talks the other week saying he could come to Man United as part of a swap deal of probably, going back to Juventus. But, there has been so many players on our agenda. Saul Niguez, I think him to Manchester United's unlikely, because, I'm very, very sceptical, that we're going to be willing to meet the 130 odd million pounds that they want. It says we've been interested in Saul Niguez, but we won't pay the 130 odd million pounds for him. We're only willing to pay half of that. We're only willing to pay around £70 million for Saul Niguez, but we've inquired about his availability before, so him to Man United's unlikely. Harry Kane to Man United's also very, very unlikely. I think we've accepted that, we're not going to get him. We've actually pulled out of the race now for Harry Kane. It's Real Madrid and Man City, that are battling it out for his signature. I do believe Kane will leave Tottenham. I just don't think he'll come to Manchester United, because Tottenham have said they want around 150 to at least 115, or some reports were circulating out saying that they wanted around £200 million for Harry Kane. But yeah, there's so many players on our agenda. But Solskjaer's got the backing of Ed Woodward. He's got the backing of the Glazers. You know, quite a lot of the players are still determined to back him. And Solskjaer's been here now for nearly 16 months. He's been permanent Manchester United manager for the year. But Solskjaer knows if he's given another season at the club, that he's got many expectations to exceed. We've got a few ambitions this season. One of those ambitions is to, you know, win the Europa League, because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. And our other ambition is the FA Cup, because the FA Cup's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. So, you know, we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and that's our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. I'm still sceptical that Solskjaer's a long-term solution for the club, but I think he does deserve at least another season at Manchester United. And if he does ever get sacked, or when he does eventually leave or whatever, hopefully Solskjaer can, you know, leave a better squad behind than the one he inherited and that. But yeah, so I think, you know, players are going to leave in the summer. Obviously, Foster Mensah, there's uncertainty over his future as well. His contract's due to expire in the summer. Angel Gomez, I think he's going to end up signing a new contract, is Angel Gomez, isn't he? He's seldom played under Solskjaer this season because of the uncertainty over his future, but recently we offered Angel Gomez around £30,000 a week, you know, to try and convince him to remain at the club. And yeah, so there'll be more videos coming up, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.